Welcome to Mo Boxing No Problem. I'm Jose Monterrez Jr. and in today's video we will be going over Gary Russell Jr. versus Mark Magsayo and giving you guys everything you need to know before we get into the fight. So let's get into it. Alright, so the first thing I want to share with you guys is the fight poster. So let's make the grand reveal. I'm sure you guys have already seen this, but it'll give us some basic details to go into the fight. The first thing to note is the fight will be promoted by Premier Boxing Champions and they're on Showtime this Saturday, January 22nd. Gary Russell Jr. will be defending his WBC featherweight title, which is contested at 126 pounds for the sixth time since winning the belt. This is the belt he won back in March 28, 2015 via fourth round TKO against Johnny Gonzalez. Now, 6 defenses and time frame isn't a large number, and this is due to Gary being one of the least active champions in modern boxing, fighting only once per year. Mark Magsayo is coming into this fight with momentum after scoring an impressive KO over Julio Ceja. The televised undercard fight starts at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern, but expect the main event to start at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. One thing that's not mentioned on here is the fight location, which will be out of the Borgata Hotel Casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey, aka the Vegas of the East Coast, as I like to call it. All right, now that the tape. So I'll speed through this, because I don't think a lot of you guys are familiar with the format. But first, let's look at the overall record. Gary Russell's record is 31-1 with 18 KOs. His only loss coming against Vasily Lomachenko back on June 21st, 2014. Mark Magsayo's record is a perfect one at 23-0 with 16 knockouts. Now let's look at the power department. Mark Magsayo has the edge with 70% knockout ratio versus Gary Russell's 56% knockout ratio. However, it should be noted that Gary Russell has been fighting the better opposition between two fighters, where KOs are hard to come by at the elite championship level. Lastly, let's talk about each other physical attributes. Mark Magsayo has the edge in height by 1 inch, which shouldn't be a factor. But what could be a factor is a 7-inch reach advantage Mark Magsayo has that will help him control the distance of the fight with his jab. As for fighting styles, Gary Russell fights out of the southpaw stance, while Mark Magsayo fights out of the orthodox stance. Now, if we look at age, Gary Russell Jr. is older by 7 years at 33 years old versus Mark Magsayo being 26-year-olds. This will make, this experience level basically is attributed to Gary making his debut back in 2009, while Magsayo debuted back in 2013. And that early head start by Gary Russell translates to 41 more professional rounds for him. All right, let's move on. Next up, we got the rankings. So I'll start with my favorite rankings, BoxRec. So you'll see Mark Magsayo breaks the top 25 in BoxRec for his weight class and lands at number 20 overall. Curiously, Gary Russell Jr., the champion, is not in the top 25, and that is strictly due to his inactivity mentioned earlier. Since Gary Russell has not fought in over a year, he is unranked by BoxRec. The next ranking I want to share with you guys is the ring rankings. Again, Gary Russell Jr. is nowhere to be found, and that is in no shape reflection of his talent, as he beat the number 8 guy on this list in his last fight. Mark Magsayo is ranked number 4 overall by the ring. And to finish off our rankings, let's go into what each organizational body has these fighters ranked. Gary Russell's a WBC champion, hence unranked in any other organizational body, but he's sitting nice at the top of the WBC throne. Mark Magsayo is highly ranked in a lot of organizations, so he's ranked number 1 by the WBO, number 5 by the IBF, number 2 by the WBC, and he's unranked in the WBA. Now let's go into the betting odds. All right, so let's open up the odds, which highly favored for Gary Russell. So Gary Russell is a minus 344 favorite, and you have to bet 344 to make $100 in profit, while Mark Magsayo is a plus 250 favorite, meaning every $100 you bet nets you a $250 profit. Overall, Gary Russell's chance of winning is 73.07%, meaning Mark Magsayo with a 26.93 chance of winning. The KO odds aren't on here, but if you fancy betting on a KO, Russell is a plus 250 to win by knockout, and Magsayo is a plus 450 to win by knockout. So Gary's more likely to win by stoppage. Now for my prediction. And based on the breakdown, it should come as no surprise that I got Gary Russell Jr. winning by unanimous decision. So although Gary Russell will be coming off a long layoff, having not fought since 2020, compared to Mark Magsayo, who has actually fought 3 times since the last time we saw Gary Russell in the ring, I think Gary Russell's a special talent, and that will be, enough for him to shake the ring rust round by round and make the adjustments needed to win, be a unanimous decision. But make no mistake, Magsayo will be in this fight, and his power makes him dangerous. I'm expecting close unanimous decision for Russell rather than a one-sided affair. All right, and there you have it. That's everything you need to know about Gary Russell Jr. versus Mark Magsayo. So I hope you enjoy the fight. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe and like the video and also share with your friends. Catch you again for more content soon. Take care. Peace.